This is the most chillest podcast ever because two
We
of
gotta,
us,
we gotta fucking chill the fuck
we
out,
all
man.
barefoot.
We should have had the
Tanked up.
bong like right there.
I'm
To
telling
sit we need to get some palm
pull out the bong
trees,
right now.
get some hose.
Get some coke.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't be chill.
For real, I'd flip up the vibe.
Yeah.
I don't do coke, so I wouldn't know.
Yo, so music.
Yeah, let's do some
We're
music
gonna make $1
stuff.
million.
Kilbride, bro, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Good, man. First time on the show, man. It's good to have you on, man.
Yeah, it's good to be on.
Long
Yeah.
time coming,
Thank
man.
You for
Yeah,
having
but,
me. Yeah.
S.I.D. regular S.I.D. artist, man. Fucking
real,
killing it. You just put out an album.
Yeah, you
Thank
just
you.
had a show.
Yeah, that release party for the album too. Yeah, you guys were there. That was fun. Yeah, that was amazing.
Very good time, man.
Yeah.
You guys killed it, man. It was a pleasure to work on the album with you, man. Spitting out chaos.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Go hit it up.
Chaos. Yeah.
Go listen to it.
Yeah, it's a wicked. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's an album I've always wanted to put together. It's the first album I've really been like, yeah, I really like this kind of thing. Like I really like what I put out, and it's just kind of, it is chaos in itself. That's what I like about it. Like,
So-
it speaks to it.
What was it about the album that like you've had the vision for a while that you wanted to do something with?
Well, like, weirdly enough, like I thought of the name whenever I was like a kid, like a little kid. Like really, like I used to
Like how old?
like 10 probably, like,
Spitting the
and
chaos.
yeah, like I was like
18 years in the making.
rating, yeah, pretty much, like, but I didn't think it was gonna be rap or whatever. Like I just came out, like I used to really want to, like I've always wanted to make music or be in a rock band or like whatever, like kind of just like do that as a living. And
It was supposed to be K-pop.
K-pop, yeah, that's what it was intended to be, like originally. Yeah, I wanted to produce a Japan or a Korean pop album. Not me though, like just in the background. But I turned into a rap album, so I don't know. But I used to make like album art, like just randomly. Like I was a kid and being like, oh yeah, this would be cool. Like, and the very first one I ever made was called Spitting Out Chaos, and it just like.
Wow.
Had like some dude like spitting, and I'm a terrible drawer. I just thought it was fun, but like he was spitting out like fire or something, and I was like, that'd be a fucking sick rap like album name. And the next
dope.
one I made is called Acid Rain, which is a song on the album, and I want it to be like the next album too, kind of, or maybe not my next album, but like kind of a continuation to that one.
That's dope. You had a vision from the young age, man.
Yeah.
I was the same. Like I was like 8 years old, visualizing my rap career and all the songs I want to do and
Yeah.
shit. But
It's fun. Like it's kind of like, I don't know, like an interesting. I like that whole like constructing the album part of it, or like the songs and everything.
So why chaos? Like what sparked you to run that one on them?
Well, with like, well, I don't know about it like as a kid, but I kind of like grew up in like a lot of like chaos, I think. So like, I think that's why. But like when I started actually thinking about the album name and like thinking of kind of a theme for it, I thought like, okay, well, I want to try to just show people that like because I was kind of trying to find my sound a little all over the place and whatnot. Like for the first few years, just trying out all these different kinds, experimenting and whatnot. And I still like to do that, but I feel I've found more of my sound lately in the past like year or so. And with Spitting Out Chaos, I just wanted to like make it mainly just me rapping, which it is pretty much. I have a few singing ones, but like mainly just rapping and talking about like random type shit. Like, cause like I like to make songs with stories and stuff too. And some of these have kind of like, it does kind of all come together as one thing, but it's more just like an album just that I didn't really have to think too much about, but I also was thinking about it a lot at the same time. Just kind of like, I don't know, kind of, it's very inspired, but like I was thinking about like X's album, like the question mark one, just trying to, I didn't want to make it like exactly like that, but kind of had that in mind, just being like, okay, this is just a sound more than, and me just spitting kind of instead of like,
it's not like a
really
concept album.
Concept, yeah, exactly. Like I do mention some of the song names and stuff throughout it, like kind of keep it connected, but and like the sound's kind of similar, but like, yeah, it's not really a concept or anything.
It feels very like stream of consciousness. Like it's like there's real emotion and real thoughts in it, but it's just like a splatter on the page. Like it's not like organized, which is exactly what chaos is,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So it's like 1 minute you're talking about addiction, and the next moment you're talking about heartbreak, the next moment you're talking about fucking bitches, the next moment you want to get some codeine, you know what I mean? So
yeah. And like consciousness in itself, there's a song about that too. And then like the one like the one that a couple that like the Hiding From You one that we did together. That one's like I found. Well, I don't even know. We didn't even write it with like a really like theme, but I felt like
shit just went hard.
Yeah, it just went hard. But like I just felt after listening to it, it kind of was more like the Hiding From You part. I guess it was kind of when I wrote because I had that part wrote down I think or something beforehand, but I just never had it for something. And I think that was just me hiding from like my problems kind of and whatnot. So
for real though.
Thing. And like that's kind of what your verse kind of says a little bit.
That's where I took
too.
it, yeah,
so,
for
like,
real.
Yeah, so that's
hiding from God, hiding from truth, hiding from everything. You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like, and that's something that I can relate to. Like, not to make it about myself because I know this is your album, but like, just on that topic, like I find like a lot of times I just find myself like, you know what you're supposed to be doing in life. You know you're supposed to be like where you're supposed to be going to, but you're like hiding from that. And you're like hiding in your comfort zone, hiding like you don't want to slay that dragon. You want to just, you know what I mean? Like,
I know with me, like it's so easy to get that momentum going, but then as soon as you start to see yourself changing, it starts to get uncomfortable, and you almost self-sabotage yourself, and like to look yourself in the mirror and see that like you hiding from yourself. Like, why would you want to look at yourself?
Exactly. Yeah,
that's true.
Like you're just like I find myself doing that a lot, at least like in the past, like leading up to this album. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to like. I don't know. I just felt like all my music was not good enough for me. I was very like perfectionist with it, or just like whatever. And then this album really let me just like not be. Just let it. A lot of it was just like not. It was thought through, but just like kind of off the chest. Just went in like some of it was freestyles, and then the other one like freestyles where I'm like super fucked up, and then the other one where it's like I'm zoned in on like a certain topic kind of thing. And it's just like. I feel like I put a lot of emotion into it, like more than like my other stuff, and that's what I want to keep doing with my albums, like in the future, kind of thing.
And that's something that I think people forget about music is that it's a feeling at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Like if people wanted to just hear words, you can just read a book or whatever. But with music, it's more than just here's the message, here's da da da. It's like you're actually giving a feeling.
Exactly.
Like, and it doesn't like a book. You kind of have to. You have to invest in it a little bit and pay attention to it to get the emotion of it. Mm-hmm. But with music, it doesn't ask before hitting your heart. It's right there as soon as you turn it on.
Yeah.
And that's something that the album brings out to me I feel like it's a lot more of an emotion than like obviously you were thinking, but it's not an overthought. It's just the emotion.
It wasn't overthought. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. And like because some of the songs are just like there's some fun ones, and then the other. Well, all of them were fun, but I just mean.
Some serious ones too.
Serious songs too, and then like I want with the bonus, like I took some of the songs off, and those songs like are like you said, there's like another addiction one, and then like a partying kind of one.
Those songs are bangers too.
Those ones are sick, and that's why like I really wanted to make those ones really good too, and I have some other ideas for it too. So like, but those ones are gonna be on there, and then I probably will still put that Diamond Rings one out there, and that one's dope. And then
Diamond Rings like Gucci.
Yeah.
Diamond Rings like Push.
And then I think we're gonna, and then I have I haven't heard the verse yet, but we're gonna have the remix for Hiding From You with Lavender on that one.
Hey, big hype, big hype. Shout out Lavender, man.
Yeah, that one's gonna be dope. She really liked the beat, I guess, and whatnot. So like,
it's a crazy song, man.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. And then, I don't know really what the future brings, but I'm excited.
So as an artist, being an artist, like, and a lot of people that aren't artists and aren't musicians don't realize this. They just go, oh, being a musician is dope. I want to do that. Mm-hmm. But doing this for many years that you go through constant ups and downs and struggles and constant no's and just like, why the fuck am I doing this? And you end up broken. Like, that's with every artist. Mm-hmm. So my question for you is, what is it with this music that's kept you on this journey that keeps being fulfilling and keeps you going with it?
Thing that really keeps me going, it's hard to explain like exactly, but I've been thinking about that a lot because I go through those ups and downs like sometimes even daily sometimes like, and
100%.
like I'll wake up and be like, some days I'll listen like well, I won't listen to my music every day, but sometimes I'll put it on and just hear like a clip or like something and be like, oh, I really like that. But then another day hear the exact same clip and be like, oh, fuck that. So really like the motivation like just comes. I don't really know where it comes from because I just think because music has been in my life and it's been like a thing that I know has always helped me, been like an outlet for me for my emotions, and even like at a young age, even if I wasn't writing music, just playing music and just like playing other people's songs, like it's just like you said, you feel that emotion right away, and I think that is what keeps bringing me back. And I don't know, I just can't stop writing. Like I'll be like, oh, I go through a slump, but then that motivation. I told this to someone the other day too, that was in like a slump, and I was like, like you never know when it's gonna come back, but it's just one day. Like you could be like just walking outside someday, and something inspires you, and you're like, oh, that'd be a cool song. And I think it's just always for musicians. I don't know. It might just always be in us, in my opinion, because it kind of comes from nowhere sometimes, most of the time.
That's such a good answer because it's true. It's like it's not something you can really turn off.
Yeah,
it's like it just lives in your head. You can't turn it off.
Yeah,
and it's true too about like having. It seems like whenever you take your attention away from whatever you're doing is whenever it comes to you.
Yeah,
like especially like there's a lot of like scientists and inventors that would spend hours trying to figure out some formula or some shit, and they'd go and like have a shower or something like that, and then the shower just hit them, right?
And it's like when you're looking for something.
Yeah.
As soon as you stop looking, it's right in front of you.
It's so, man, it's crazy, man.
That happens with everything. Yeah, it's crazy. And even recently, like, I was recording a song, and we, like, with my roommate, I was telling you, like, he had a little studio, and we were doing the chorus, like, over and over again. I think that song I showed you. And I was like, I thought it was decent or whatever, but like we weren't getting it right. And the next morning, just fucking went there and just one take like did it, and it was just like we just needed that little like refresh because we were recording for hours at that point,
100%.
Like, multiple songs. So like
and you take that over like a day period or a few hour period, and it does a lot. But if you take that over like a few months or whatever, like you take
and I've done that too. Like it's sometimes you need a few months
for real though.
It's fucked.
I need to find a few months I can take off, man.
Well,
it's been a minute.
It's hard. Well, sometimes you don't want to. Like I didn't really want to at the time. Like I wanted to quit music at the time when I took those months off. But like
sometimes life takes you in different directions, man. Like sometimes it's just you can't get enough of it, and sometimes it's just like fuck this shit, you know? And like I almost feel like that's almost, this might be a bit of a leap, but I almost feel like that's almost where depression comes in.
Oh, 100%.
Whenever you're forcing yourself to do something that your spirit does not want to do.
Big time, yeah. Like anytime I'm like depressed or whatever, that's like when I am like. Sometimes it'll inspire a song, but it's usually when I'm like out of it. You know what I mean? I'm out of that slump, and then I'm like still kind of feeling weird or something maybe, but then I'm like, oh, okay, I could maybe write about how I'm feeling. But like in the moment, I find I can never personally just never like it stops me for sure. Yeah.
I feel like with this album, and this just came to me now, I didn't prepare this, and this is kind of like all the songs you've been dropping recently, but I feel like obviously your music has a very dark side to it.
Yeah.
As people can tell.
Yeah. I do want to change that with some things, but like that is like that's been my life anyway, sorry.
Exactly, yeah, and that's something that, I'm sure that you'll tell people more and more as you feel more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, though, is that recently it feels like it really feels like you're trying to, like, I don't know if this is your personal life or just music or whatever, but it really feels like you're, like, striving for that light. Mm-hmm. And, like, even, like, come home, numb, smoking gasoline is a big one. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of lines in there, like, on my knees screaming, God, yeah, I need you, and stuff like that. And, like, I really love that stuff, And that's cool for me to see. And I feel like it's really powerful, especially smoking gasoline. Like, it just feels like, just like I need to get out of this shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've always been trying, like, in that one, it's like, I was just talking about how, like, in the abyss, like, I found, like, my peace here, but it's, like, not where I want to, like, stay, like, kind of thing. Like, I want to fly away from that shit, get away from this, like, fucking bull. That's how I interpret, because I did freestyle it, but that's, like, kind of, like, how
Let's put your mic up just a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I did, I freestyled that, but how I interpret it is just, like, because I listened to it afterwards, and I'm like, obviously this was something was in my subconscious or whatever. So, like, that's how I explain that, those lyrics or that song pretty much. And it's like, it was a song like for my friend too, but like it was kind of just like, okay, like I'm kind of like grieving or whatever, and I have to deal with this. Like it's not gonna just go away if I let it go. If I just fucking let it dwell, or if I dwell on it, then like, I don't know, I just had to fucking, and that didn't completely get me past it, but that fucking helped a lot, I think.
That's so true. Or it's like whenever, if you've noticed, like there'll be people that every time they drink, they'll keep harping on one issue.
Yeah.
And it's like, you haven't dealt with that yet.
Exactly.
And it's like,
Or psychedelics too, if you're really like in a bad spot. And like, that's why a lot of people, it's like bad trips, it's like usually showing you something that you're like holding on to, like fearful wise or like something like that. Like, at least in my experience, like, yeah. Yeah, I find like anytime I experience bad trip, it's like, my interpretation is that it's showing you something that you fear and that you're holding on to in your life, and that like, I don't know, like there's still some things that like they've showed me that it's like, oh yeah, I can still like be scared of it, but it's not like something that's like looming over me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like for example, like death was a big one for me. My main biggest bad trips were based around that, and I realized like it's just to not be as like, it's still like whatever, but like it's scary and stuff, but like I don't know, I have a different feeling around it after kind of like being face to face with it kind
For
of
real
thing.
though.
At least like in a psychedelic experience, and in real life too, which is fucked, but like that's different.
Yeah, I had a really crazy, I don't know if you call it like, I guess it was a bad trip. Like, I guess it's just your perspective on it, whether it's bad or good, right?
Exactly,
but
yeah, true.
My second time doing mushrooms, I think I did like 3 or 4 grams. And I just felt sick as fuck at first.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to my friend's bathroom and I'm trying to throw up, and it's like half an hour of trying to throw up, and it didn't.
No.
And it didn't like, I kind of lost track of time, but I was just like in front of the toilet, and like that's when it started to kick in. So like all of like the toilet started visualizing and shit like that. And I was like trying to make myself throw up, and I just couldn't. And then I just kind of come out of the bathroom and I'm just like fucked, and I'm just like anxious and just like, I don't know, just like not comfortable at all.
That's
and
a
then
big thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we sit on his couch and we're watching BoJack Horseman, which is the worst
That's
show in the
terrible to
world
watch
for a
on
bad trip.
man. It's so sad. Like,
Yeah. And it's trippy as fuck.
Yeah,
All these different
trippy.
animals and shit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Anyway, and then my friend said smoke some weed and then you'll be good. So I had a bowl and then I threw up like crazy, power puked, and then I felt good.
Oh, really? It did make you feel
Yeah,
good?
yeah. Because after I threw up, I felt good.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but I don't know. Just what I learned from it is that life is just kind of goes like this. And you just kind of like you can flow with it, or you can like try to fight the current.
Big time. Yeah.
And like for me, it wasn't like a thing like death or anything. It was like, or anything specific. It was more just like just going through life with the unknown. Like, do I need to get sick? Can I get sick? Like, what's gonna happen? Yeah, just like.
Well, yeah, that's kind of another thing I realized too. Like, those were like the big bad, like really bad trips were like the death ones, because they were really scary and confusing. But like, I've had some other ones that are really, I guess, more difficult, you would call them, and they're still kind of scary. But yeah, one time I was like eating a mushroom chocolate bar, and it was the first time kind of exploring psychedelics again, and just trying to, because like there's been all the research about it healing your mind, and like I kind of felt that anyways, but I just kind of stayed away because I was anxious. But I took like what I thought was like a microdose, but I ate a bit more, and I started seeing some things, and I was like, fuck, I don't really want to see things right now. But it was whenever I would feel anxious, and then whenever I kind of just like took a few breaths and was like chilling, the visuals kind of went away. And probably because I was on a low dose too, but I was just like, it made me like have an epiphany, like, oh, like you can just like you said, just the waves kind of thing. Like you're going to get anxious at some point. Like, it's not like your trip's going to be fucking perfect. There's always a time. I say like I used to say, oh, it's testing you. But really it's just life. It's just you got anxious. You like, there's something there, and then maybe it heightened it. So like, yeah, I find it's good to like make you realize when to calm down and use your breath to like in those types of situations. That's what I realized from it. Like, yeah, but I don't think it's for everyone. I always say that too.
Definitely not. I probably never should have done it. I got like mental health in my family and shit.
Well,
like
me
that.
too.
Like, yeah,
but
mental
like
illness.
But like with the mental health thing, like it can help people, but it can also not. So that's why I like to look at the research, and I know my own body.
I got like schizophrenia in my family, so it's probably not good for that.
I don't know much about that. Like part of that part, I feel people are still like But I've also heard Terrence McKenna talk about, like, he's like, oh yeah, I have schizophrenia, I'm taking these psychedelics and it's helped me. So like,
I'd probably.
it just depends on the person, I
Yeah.
think. But like, yeah, there are people more susceptible, and same with like bipolar. I've heard like kind of things like with that. Like, so I don't know. Just depends. I think for depression and anxiety, like, it's a good thing.
The way it was explained to me that made the most sense is that you have like there's a balance between order and chaos, and people that have very chaotic minds. So psychedelics will introduce like a chaos kind of to your mind.
Yeah, big time.
And if you're you have a very orderly mind, the chaos can be like good to like help balance that out. But if you already have a very chaotic mind, like I do,
Yeah.
it kind of just like brings you further that way. Whereas like you don't really need that.
I agree with that, especially with weed and any type of psychedelic for me, because my mind is pretty chaotic. But with meditation, like I could observe those thoughts rather than react to them more.
Yeah.
So when I on shrooms, it's like the voices or the visions or whatever is just more clearer for me.
Yeah.
You can see Steve right in front of you.
Exactly. I never had a bad trip off of shrooms or nothing like that.
Oh,
It was
really?
always
Okay.
good,
Yeah. I don't really have them much anymore. Like, I did them recently, and it was like really difficult trip, but it was like like, I don't know. I like it. I like that kind of thing now. Like, even if it's like a little difficult, it's like I'm always gonna learn from it, and that's what enters my brain. I'm like, all right, what am I learning from this in this moment, like, kind of thing. And even sometimes it's too confusing to think about, but like, you're always going to learn something from that, I think. And as long as you're in a safe environment and whatnot, like, I think
being in a safe, comfortable environment is key, especially if it's your first time.
set and setting is huge. Like,
People very big. You have good people. Yeah.
good people, like strangers sometimes can really fuck you up, like, just because, like, I like to go out in public, right? But like, I don't know why, but like, I do like to do it, but like most of the time I'm pretty good because it's like little interactions. The only interaction I'm doing is like in a store, or like I'm walking by people or something, but they're not really like, I'm not talking to them usually.
You don't have to do algebra or nothing.
Yeah, or like the only time it freaks me out is if someone
my problem.
comes up and starts talking to me, and then I'm like, fuck, but like, whatever, like, because that's happened, and it usually trips me out. And because this dude came up to me, he's like, oh, hey, Dylan, what's going on? Never met this guy in my life, and I was tripping, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I like just moved to Charlottetown, and he looked like someone that I knew. So I thought I knew him, and then nope, and then never.
And then he disappeared.
No, he's still like, he's still around. He's a real person. I thought he was fake. Like,
He's realized right now.
I did think he was fake for a bit but like then I was like, okay, he is real, but no,
He's real. I swear he's real.
It was weird. Yeah, it was very.
That's a weird experience.
But but the last time I couldn't be in public, I was fucking walking with the cane still, and I was like, I need to get the fuck home.
For real.
I remember when I was high on shrooms on Halloween, bro, and I was in the front of Hannah's and Factory, just sitting there with my buddy, watching people go by. And bro, this person in a mask was like,
wow.
creepy as fucking man. And I was sitting there. At first, I was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh, it's Halloween. Okay, cool."
Can you imagine some random day like?
No, bro.
Like the hit the road music video like going on.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
Crazy, man. This conversations kind of makes me want to do psychedelics
I know.
again.
I'm all like, I've been on the train for it a bit more recently, like, just because, like, you need it every once in a while. I do, anyways.
For real,
I like
though.
to keep myself on my toes, like, to stay.
It's been like over a year for me.
Yeah, August will make a year for me since I did some shroom.
We should all do them together.
Fuck, no.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm ready to experiment again. Fuck, man.
It's a very thing, like, to link this to music also. I think it's a huge inspiration for me.
Yeah.
Music. Well, psychedelics are what made me actually want to pursue hip hop and rap. Literally.
Damn.
Yeah, like, I tripped out one time. I just randomly took mushrooms and acid. Don't do this, people.
At the same time?
Yeah.
Damn.
At the same time. It was stupid, but it was kind of cool. And I watched Pink Floyd's The Wall for the first time. Like, the movie
that would be
version.
crazy.
Because, like, my siblings always told me, yeah, if you're going to trip out, like, really hard, watch The Wall. And I just never did it.
It's a dope movie.
And I was just like, my one buddy saw it, but he wasn't tripping with us. And then all my buddies that were tripping, just me and two other guys, we were like, yeah, let's put it on. and me and my one buddy, like he had tears going down his face, like kind of thing. Like it was just impacted us like a lot, and sent us through a fucking whirlwind, like kind of thing. And that's when I realized, like, I don't know what exactly point made me realize it. I think when the wall comes down or something, and it's just like kind of blank or something, and you're just like, oh shit, like. I just realized you can kind of do anything. You're kind of just building up that wall yourself. You can always like break it down. And that was my interpretation. And I was like, what do I really want to do? And I sat there like later in the night and I was like, I want to fucking make music. Like, I'm going to try it. Because I was writing like music and writing lyrics like for the past while and just kind of fucking around. And I was like, what can I do myself that like I don't need a band or like whatever. And I realized like you're still working with a bunch of people, but you still like can do it yourself. And I was like, well, I could rap. Like I was kind of writing rap at the time anyways, just to fuck around. And I was like, oh, I could rap and sing maybe. Like I'd have to get better at singing, which I did eventually, but I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And that's what inspired me. Like,
that's dope as fuck.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I need to watch that movie again.
And then we watched Tenacious D. That's a good one too.
That.
Oh, it's fucking
What's
hilarious.
the name of it?
Tenacious D, The Pick of
I
Destiny.
heard about that.
It's Jack Black, is his band from like the late
shit.
90s, and he had a show. And that's a movie like in the mid 2000s. It's a hilarious.
I've definitely heard of it.
They take mushrooms at one point too. It's really funny.
There's definitely people watching this now that are like, how the fuck have you not seen that movie?
Yeah, it's awesome.
There's so many
recommend
like
it. You will laugh your ass off if you watch that movie.
Jack Black,
it's so
he's
funny.
awesome, man.
Jack Black is awesome. He's a big influence for me when it comes to
Is all of his movies like rock and roll themed?
Seems like a lot of them are.
Yeah,
a lot of
he
them.
did the one where he was a school teacher.
Yeah, but he's in Kung Fu Panda also.
Kung Fu Panda,
Yeah.
But like
Peaches.
But yeah,
peaches.
that song's dope. I haven't seen the movie yet, but
No, but going back to what you said about the music on psychedelics is actually something that I want to say too. Is like one thing that I love about doing that shit is that whenever I hear music, like I'm already somebody that I'm 90% sure that I just hear. Whenever I listen to music, I hear like every little bit, every emotion. Like a lot of albums, like if you play me Dark Side of the Moon, I swear I know every beat and every note.
yeah, what's all playing, all the sounds.
And with psychedelics, is that like that's enhanced. Like I swear, I just like maybe everybody feels it, but I'm just more aware of it. But I feel like I can just feel it, like directly, like. And anyway, one of the last times I was on shrooms, like we were just listening to all these tunes and like. I just broke down crying off of one of them. It was like Kid Cudi Reborn. I don't know if you guys ever had that experience. Like, it's
I've
so
listened to it
crazy.
tripping. Yeah, it's good.
And I was really stressed out. And that song is like, I don't know. I don't know. And then another one was Rolling Stones' Angie, if you know that one.
Oh, I think so.
Angie.
Yeah.
Man.
That's a great tune.
It's made me think about life and shit like that. But
yeah, some songs, man, they really hit you. Like, yeah. And I don't know. I just love like I was telling you earlier, like going to concerts. Like I just love going like on a little bit of mushrooms just for that enhancement. Like I don't want to like be too anxious or something. But like
one day maybe I'll work up to that.
Just like well, that's one of the reasons why I did it. Just like because I have a lot of social anxiety, but like I've been getting over that more and more because like I'm putting myself out there and like I used to like do a lot of open mics. Like, that's how I started with rap, like, back in Wolfville. And even here, too, how I kind of started, like, building the name here. But, like, back there, I would, like, a lot of times freak out and be like, no, I'm not going to go. Or, like, get too nervous. Like, even one time, my ex, like, or she was my girlfriend at the time, but, like, my ex, she invited her dad or something.
Oh, what the fuck?
And I wasn't very, like, and he's into rap and stuff, and I wasn't, like, super, super good. Like, at the time, I didn't feel that way. It was, like, my first... It was like
Make that pussy purr.
My first few months like recording, Well, I didn't have that song either. Yeah. But I still, there were some like songs. Like, I still would talk like that kind of in certain songs, especially like I like to do that shit because it's funny. Yeah. But like,
that's a hilarious situation.
I ended up not going. I said fuck it, and she got kind of annoyed at me, but I didn't care. Like fuck it, like it was.
That is kind of a fuck thing to put on somebody.
I wouldn't care.
Yeah, because like your friend's dad, whatever, but your girlfriend's dad, there's always that tension anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and at first, I just didn't feel confident enough. But like now, I don't really give a shit. Like who, like fuck, like I find that I I don't know, I still get nervous. I think it's good to get nervous kind
Yeah.
of thing. But
If you never got nervous, you wouldn't give a fuck. You wouldn't try to be better.
Exactly,
Or,
yeah. Yeah. It's good to be
You'd be a cyborg?
Yeah, he's a cyborg if you can't feel nervous.
So you don't feel nervous, eh?
I don't feel nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I find, yeah.
So you feel like the psychedelics have helped you with your social anxiety?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of leading into. I guess I kind of gapped out there, but
I'd say I agree with that too.
because I even went and like, I don't know, I would have, I still don't do this all the time, but like, I kind of was like, oh, I want to go sometimes like when I was working and stuff or like had some money, I was like, I want to go and like just eat on my own, but like I didn't have like a ton of friends or whatever, and sometimes people wouldn't be there, but I'm like, or like they're busy or whatever, and I was like, fuck, well, I just want to go to this restaurant and get mussels and beer and fucking chill and whatnot, and I was super like stressed out about it for some reason, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it on acid, and I fucking took 3 tabs of acid,
holy
and fucking went and did it, and it was crazy experience, like one of the most visuals I've probably ever seen,
Wow.
but like. Well, like on acid, not like on in general, but like, but it was crazy, and it was like, it made me like, and then I started doing that more sober, like kind of thing, and just being like, okay, I'm gonna go out, and it made me just realize like, oh, I can just go out, and if I want, like, I don't usually do that a lot, but at the time it was like it helped me, and then like also performing, tripping too, like I don't do it a lot anymore, but it was like at the time, got me over that like. I was like, if I can do this, I have no excuse to like
Not do it sober.
do it sober. Like, or like if I'm anxious, it's like, well, you did it like this, you can't be that anxious.
I
Which
just
is crazy to say, but like it's
yeah, for real though. I just picture you talking to the waitress like, could I get
all our minds, everyone in the room, it felt like we all melted together. And I thought the waitress, she definitely knew I was tripping because of my eyes, but like she brought me like I went there the night before. And I think I was tripping then too, but they didn't. But I was like coming down, and she gave me like a beer, and it was a Belgian Moon, but it didn't have like a citrus thing in it. But like the next day it did.
So you smacked her.
And I thought that she was like, oh, so she knows I'm tripping, like, cause like that would enhance it, right? So I was like, she's gonna enhance my beer with this fucking orange slice. She knows what's up, and it did. It was great. But yeah,
that's
not
crazy,
recommended.
man.
People don't take acid and think you're like it's gonna
be sober, man.
Be sober.
Drugs are like fun, but I mean, life is truly the best experience going through it sober.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what I've come to realize. Like, I don't know, I've done a lot, and that's why I don't do it as much. But I still love like those things.
Yeah.
But it's just like we're all, we're all who we are. Like, some people love and I love caffeine too, but I'm sensitive to it. But some people are just like that's their fucking thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like. That's a better thing to be on than fucking, doing a bunch of fucking, in my opinion, doing a bunch of pharmaceuticals and stuff and like whatnot. Like I'm back on like those kind of things too right now. Like not like hard drugs. I just mean like antidepressants and stuff. But like, that's another reason why I was doing that stuff because I wanted a more natural way, I guess, like kind of thing. But
so you got prescribed with that?
For what?
Antidepressants?
Oh yes, yeah. Again, I've been on and off since I've like been 18.
How do you find? What do they feel like? I've heard from a few other people, but from your perspective,
it depends on what you're on. But this one I've been on since I was 18. Like I was the first one that put me on, and it worked right away. It's called Effexor. But like I've been on and off because I wanted to try other ones to like. It helps with depression for me, but not as much my anxiety. But like I started to realize that my anxiety, or my is caused by my depression or something. They're like linked very. So like, I don't know. I just had a better way of understanding it. But I don't know. For the ones that don't work for me, made me feel like very sick and made me want to like puke and like kind of like a zombie. And these ones kind of like on a higher dose, they make you kind of feel like a zombie, but like on a like. And, like, I got a bunch of bad side effects with them on a higher dose because they were just pumping me up to counteract the anxiety, right? But didn't work. But then now I'm on, like, a dose, like, it's relatively low, and it kind of works for me. Eventually, I find it just makes my mood, like, makes me be able to bounce back a lot better, I find. Like, if I'm, like, because, like, for example, mornings are really bad for me. So I go get up and like I'm in my head a lot, and it takes me a bit to get out of bed or even eat in the morning. But this will like bring my appetite back up without me having to just like get stoned or whatever. Like I actually have an appetite, or like I'll be like, fuck it, let's like get up. It's just like a weird way to like, I don't know how it exactly works, but I know it regulates your serotonin. So it's just like balances me out a bit. But
just like that kind of existential like depression feeling of just like, why am I doing this? That kind of like is removed.
Yeah, a little bit. Like it's not like a miracle thing, obviously, but it does help regulate it a lot. But I just don't like a lot of like the side effects with them. Like, and I won't like completely get into that, but it's like a lot of like even one, for example, dry mouth. Like you get more of that like more often, and that's just fucking annoying. And like there's just like annoying little things, and it made me think like, this can't be great for you in like the long run. And I've looked up things with it, like some people on this particular one, and it's like, yeah, you do probably get some side effects that could be from this, or it could be from something else maybe too. But like, I don't know, I'm more, even though I put a lot of fucked up shit into my body, it's like I'm more, I like to lean towards being healthy if I can, like try, and if, especially something that I have to take, you know. So who knows, but I'm back on it because like it does help. And for me, like in short terms especially, and that's like fine to do, I guess, and from what they say, and I don't know, and like it does, I also have like OCD, like, and whatnot, like, and Tourette's, and it kind of helps with that, apparently.
Damn, legit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like mild Tourette's, very mild, but like I think the OCD part of it is like tied in, so like it's mainly in my brain, so like I'll do like weird things, like I don't know, sometimes like I'll have to have something straight, but it's only like if I put it down or something. Like,
yeah.
It's not all the time.
I've heard OCD is really hard to deal with actually.
If you're
like,
on caffeine or on a stimulant, that's why I'm super sensitive to that shit. Like I can only have one or two. I had 2 coffees today, and it's like, but they had to be super spread out though. Like,
what I've heard from OCD is that it's not just about wanting to be orderly, but it's like a constant anxiety attack kind of, where it's just like everything's fucked.
Yeah, it's like a thought in your brain that won't go away until you do something.
Yeah.
Like a certain action. Like it's not like I have to be completely clean. But let's say like if I'm cleaning something.
You have to spin around 3 times or some shit.
Yeah, or some bullshit. Or like if you're like, I don't know. It's weird things like that. Like you're fucking pressing something like a bunch, or flicking the light on like on and off like randomly. But it's not, for me, it's not every fucking time. So I don't call mine like an extreme OCD, but it's still like quite annoying. Like I've had it since I was a kid. Even like one like a, here's one that's really weird. Like an example, not really weird, but like if I'm going down like a railing, I don't do this as much anymore, but I used to as a kid. It's like if I don't touch the top of the railing, but I touch it halfway through and go to the bottom, I'd have to go all the way to the top, and then touch the top and go all the way to the bottom, or else I'd feel fucking like anxious and weird, and it's like something's like in you, like this has to happen right now. But like I've learned to like fight that feeling, and then it'll eventually go away.
You just kind of question it, yeah.
It's like meditating with you. Kind of, it's made me be like, again, like with the anxiety too. Like it's like, okay, this is just like something, like it'll eventually go away if I distract myself or something.
I feel like a lot of these things are like coping mechanisms. Like we find a way, like, you know, I don't want to speak for you or your life, but like, let me know if this sounds on point. It's almost like I don't have control over what's going on right now, but if I do this thing, it makes me feel like I do have control.
Yeah, but like, that is a good way to explain it, but it's also like, it's like a thought in your head that you just like,
you can't escape. I know
thoughts in my
you
head.
can't get rid of it.
With my OCD, like if I come in the door and I realize I didn't lock the door and I'm already in my room, I cannot. I have to go back and lock the door. Or I have checking if I close the fridge properly. And the most annoying part of me and my OCD is like, I love things in a certain place. Mm-hmm. So when I go back and it ain't there and someone else move it, I'm like, bro, I'm fucking so pissed off.
Yeah, I don't know who would do that.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it's like everyone like has like, it's such a widespread. I've heard lots of people with OCD. Yeah, it's such a different like.
It varies.
Well, I think that all this stuff is a spectrum.
It's interesting, yeah. All mental health, I think, is a very
like I think anybody could go get a psych exam or something from a doctor and probably come up with something. Like I know for sure if I went for a test I'd get diagnosed with something.
Yeah.
Because I'm not all there.
Yeah,
Let's
like,
be honest, guys.
What even is good mental health? Like,
Yeah.
how do you gauge a healthy mind? You know what I mean?
Don't
Yeah.
vote for Trump.
Yeah, exactly. How do you gauge that? Because
You
like,
get vaccinated.
because there's like it's like ever watch One That Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
That's not familiar.
It's like
It's like an old movie.
old movie. It's
Yeah.
based
Heard
on
of
a
it.
book too, but it's got Jack Nicholson in it, and he's like, they think he's crazy, but he's just like wild and shit. But like, I think you find out like, he's not. I don't know. I think that movie.
He was just King Vamp.
He was just he was just. I don't think he was actually crazy. I think that's what it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's like. 'Cause I only watched it once, but I read like a synopsis kind of on it too. So it's pretty much like he goes into the place. He's always in and out of the ward, like kind of thing. They don't keep him there, and he's kind of putting himself there or whatever. But he's not actually like crazy. But eventually, like he gets like the whole treatment and like the fuck shit they were doing back and like. I don't want to spoil it. Well, I could, I guess, but you guys should watch it, so I'm not going to, because it is old. But like, yeah, it's pretty much like other people there like would kind of think that he's crazy, like kind of thing. So
Yeah.
really, what does it define? Like, are you? And then
It's like if you're told you're crazy enough, then you'll start to believe it.
yeah, or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like he started to believe like, oh, I can't leave here, basically. But
Yeah, like if you have depression, you can't fix it, you can't solve it, you have to take a medication or whatever. And that's not like a diss towards
Yeah.
you for taking it, because
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
you know, things get us, you know, we need stuff to get us through things temporarily, but it's definitely, I've been around a lot of mental illness. I've met dozens of people with mental illness, and like,
Yeah.
you know, there's definitely a lot of people that do need to be on medication, but we're severely over medicated, and
I
it's
agree.
like a quick, cheap fix that isn't permanent, doesn't, you know,
Yeah.
and like even like, yeah, man. But with that being said, I've known a lot of people that if they weren't on medication, they wouldn't be able to live, and
Exactly.
they'd have to be in like a mental in an asylum if they
It's-
didn't take medication.
It's
So, yeah.
like the like a spectrum, like we were saying, like and like you got to know your own body too, and like doctors aren't gonna know your body too, and I
No.
think that's what might be. Well, also like the capitalism thing,
And
like,
yeah, they make hundreds of billions of dollars
Yeah,
off this
that
shit.
thing
Like,
too,
it's
like-
kind of hard to believe. It's kind of the same thing. I hope they don't take that in this video for this, but it's kind of the same shit with the vaccine. Like, I'm not saying that there's anything. I don't know what's in the vaccine or what's not. But
No,
whenever
yeah.
you make $100 billion off of some shit, it's really hard for me to really believe that you're doing it out of the goodness of your own heart.
Yeah,
you know what
there's
I mean?
a lot of like things coming out now of people of like even I saw a thing today of like the Pfizer guy who owns Pfizer, like he talking shit about like vaccines. and
Yeah,
shit,
I
like,
saw
and
that too.
That's just random shit. or,
I
like,
feel
whatever.
sorry for you vaccinated people,
I
man.
know, man.
Yeah, I only got 2 of them, but pretty
Only
much
2?
for work.